Start with the end in mind. Let's get straight into this because this is where most people mess up before they even begin. They just buy something. A flat near where they live because they need to pop by it. A house that looks decent. No strategy, no criteria, no end goal. It's kind of like getting into a taxi and just saying drive and shock horror. 6 months in, they're wondering, why isn't this working? Let me say this clearly. If you don't know where you're going, every property looks like a good idea and a good deal. And that is just dangerous. You've got to move with purpose, not panic, because confidence in property comes from clarity. So, what do we do instead? We start with the end in mind. Let me ask you right now, what's your number? Is it 3 grand a month? 10 grand a month, enough to retire early, enough to pass on to the kids? You've got to know why you're doing this in the first place. And a lot of it is to do with what the number is going to facilitate, how big the outcome needs to be. And once you've got that, you can choose your timeline. Is this to be achieved in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and beyond? Once you know your number and the outcome and the timeline, now you need to know your appetite for risk. Are you a steady Eddie, playing it steady, or going bold? Now, this is my personal choice. I'm a big believer in my passive investments remaining passive, which is why I love boring, vanilla, buy-to-let properties. And I'm not saying the other strategies aren't great, but you really need to hone in your first 5 boring, vanilla buy-to-lets. I'm just going to make it easy. If you don't have your first 5, don't look at anything else. Active income, keep active, i.e. your job, your business. Passive income, keeping it passive. This is going to help you determine your strategy. That's my opinion, by the way, after investing for the last 10 years and building up over 1,000 properties. But it doesn't mean that you could have a different approach to this. It shapes the area that you're going to invest in, and it tells you what deals to chase, and honestly, more importantly, with all the abundance of opportunity out there, which opportunities to ignore. This is literally step 1 for every Aspire portfolio client that we work with. We like to sit down, get clarity, and then what we do is reverse engineer the whole game. And if you haven't done this yet, do it today. And by the way, if you want us to do that with you, put portfolio in the comments and we can book in a call. But seriously, whether it's with Aspire Portfolio, my company, or you're doing it on your own, do it today. Set your goal, pick your time frame, understand your risk appetite. That's your map. Confidence is following it. Let's break down the phases. Phase 1, foundations. Once you've got your end goal, it's time to lay down your foundation. And I don't mean buying bricks yet, I mean you. Your setup, your knowledge, your structure. Because if this bit goes wrong, you'll end up tripping over yourself later. So here are the 5 things you need to do before you buy anything. Number 1, get your education right. Now, look, telling you how to suck eggs here, you're here watching the YouTube, but you need to understand your numbers. What yield are you going for? What ROI? What's the combined returns? How does leverage work? How are you utilizing mortgage debt in order to accelerate your journey? Watch the right videos, read the book, or better, get a proper course. And we teach this at Aspire Education, my education business, but honestly, whatever you choose, get it right. Number 2, your structure. Are you going to be buying this in your personal name or your limited business or an LLP? I'll make this easy for you, but this is not financial advice. Almost every single one of you is going to be better buying in a limited business. This is one of the first decisions you make, and it could cost you thousands if you get it wrong. Now, seek proper advice. I am very aware you are watching this on a video and I don't know you, your personal situation, yet I would go through that on the phone call with you if you were to work with Aspire Portfolio. But if not with us, please, 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 talk to your accountant before you buy, not after. And I am saying this from experience, by the way. We've bought over 1,000 properties for ourselves and investors over the last 10 years. And I'm not afraid to say, although I did get advice and ignored it at the time, I ended up buying in the wrong structure and it cost me tens of thousands to change it down the line. Don't follow my mistake, get it right. Number 3, is your finance ready? You need a good mortgage broker, not your bank. Oh my gosh. Do not buy your buy-to-let properties with the same lender that you've bought your residential purchase from. Now, I'm not saying that as a blanket. No, I am literally saying that as a blanket statement. You need to find out if they're right. There are hundreds, thousands of lenders out there, and you need a strategist, somebody that is qualified to know not only how much you can borrow, but the best approach on this. Should you do variable rate, fixed rate, 2-year, 5-year, 10-year, 7-year? Is it better putting a 25% deposit or a 35% deposit? All of this is to do with your goals, your personal financial situation, your credit score, and of course your lend risk in relation to your lenders. You need to understand your deposit and fees and get ready to act. Don't get ready, be ready, because when the right deal lands, you've got to move. Make sure you get a mortgage broker in place for that. Number 4, area selection. This is probably where most people go wrong. Do not buy around the corner from you. The amount of people I talk to, oh no, I was thinking of buying one around the corner, just so it feels safe. It's all that. I'm like, okay, so when the boiler goes, because it will, are you going to go and fix it? No, of course not. I'm going to get a plumber out. Okay, cool. And what about when the tenant, if they decide not to pay 1 month, are you going to go knocking on the door? No, the letting agent should be doing that. Okay, great, okay. And in terms of vetting the tenant, are you going to go around and meet them? No, I'm not going to do anything. What are you going to do in the property then? Well, nothing. Great. You need to get it in your head that you're an investor and you're a landlord, but somebody else is going to be managing this for you, and you want to take advantage, not just of leveraging money, but leveraging other people's time. And honestly, my opinion is that if anything, it's better to get it out of your area, because then you lean on other people. Finally, number 5, investment criteria. What's your perfect deal look like? If you're saying, I only buy 2-bed terraces in the Northwest, I want 8% growth yield, walking distance to a train station, then that makes every decision fast, a clear yes or no. So I'm going to make this very easy. We are West or South Yorkshire, 2 to 4-bed houses, freehold only. We're looking to attract family there. We need long-term capital growth above the 5% per year mark, and we are focusing on 7% yield properties. We have found in the entirety of England, I'm not going to say the UK, but England, these create the best investment opportunities that are available. So that's your foundation: education, structure, finance, area, criteria, and most people skip this. And that's why they burn out after 1 or 2 deals. But you're playing the long game with confidence. Buying your first property. Let's say your foundation is set. You know your strategy, you know your numbers. Now it's time to actually buy your first property. I know, so much effort up front, right? Now we're here. Here's how you do it. Number 1, deal sourcing. You want to actually find the opportunities. Ideally, these are going to be off-market deals. I'm not putting down estate agents. I just don't want to compete with tens of thousands of other people. I want to have a conversation with a motivated vendor. And these are the opportunities where I can actually get the highest value. So at Aspire, we have a sourcing team doing this daily. And we spend quite a lot of money. We spend about £25,000 a month on direct-to-vendor relationships. If you're doing that on your own, obviously we're doing like 20 plus deals every single month for our purchases and for our investors just like you. When you're doing this on your own, you don't need to be deploying that. You're probably going to need to spend, if you want great deals, maybe a few £100s a month on ads, coffees, building those relationships. And you're looking for motivation, okay? One thing I will say when you're finding your opportunity is price is what you pay, value is what you get. Please get it out of your head trying to get heavy discounts or anything like that. I'm going to make this very easy for you. If I could get a 100 grand property in a really crap area, but get it for 85 grand, wow, 15 grand off, that's pretty good. Or I could buy a 150 grand property at 150 grand, but at an amazing area, I'm buying the 150 grand property all day long. And it's honestly, most won't listen to this until they feel the impact, including me in the early days. Price is what you pay, value is what you get. Warren Buffett says this, which I think you should take home and apply to this business. I would rather buy a great business at a fair price rather than a fair business at a great price. Apply that to your property. It really makes a difference. Step number 2, due diligence, your DD. Don't get lazy here. You need to be checking that you've got your title deed, which needs to be free and clear, rental comparables in the area, refurbishment costs, legal issues, and so on. Every deal looks good on paper, but the hidden stuff kills portfolios. Number 3, making the offer. You need to have your ducks in a row. Have you got proof of funds and solicitor ready? This is really important, by the way. Even when you've got an off-market property in a great area, a good sign when it's a great area is you are competing with 3 to 5 other buyers. Imagine that we're online listed on Rightmove, you'd be competing with 20, 30, 40 buyers, okay? So you need to go in with confidence. Have your proof of funds ready, have your solicitor ready, have everything ready that you can submit it and move quickly. Now don't get emotional, all right? Everything we do is based on numbers. This isn't your dream home. Has it got a beautiful garden? This is facts, figures, not feelings. I've been there, I've done it, I've fucked it up, all right? I know what you're going to be going through. Get it right. Emotions have no place in investment. Step number 4, conveyancing. Use a solicitor that works with investors. Seriously. Solicitors, I love you and I bloody hate you. They are painfully slow, terrible communicators, and they need to be quick and they need to be great communicators. Honestly, I'm telling you this, even after 1,000 deals, we're constantly working with our solicitors, and when you get a great one, they are gold dust. At Aspire, we've got in-house case progression to keep this momentum. We've got 3 full-time team of girls. They're absolutely insane that are pushing this forward every single day. But if you're on your own, just be proactive, all right? Call on your lunch times, call in the mornings, send in messages, emails, try and get a phone number, okay? The more pressure you can put on, number 1, the faster you're getting a return on your money, and number 2, you're reducing the risk. There is a direct correlation of how long it is taking going through the case progression process, i.e. when you've agreed the deal to completion. The longer that goes on, the higher risk of it falling out. Step number 5, refurbishment. This is where we want to add a bit of value. Now, for boring vanilla buy-to-lets, we do not want to be spending massive amounts of money. We want it really simple, like sub 20K. All right, now that's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money. Ideally, 10 to 15K, maybe even a bit less. That would be amazing, all right? But only if you've got the right team in place. You need clear quotes, tight deadlines, and this can be a part of the nightmare if you're juggling life. So you need a really good schedule of works, which is really mapping out what is needed. You need a spec sheet, so you know, like, it's not just we're putting in a kitchen, it's this kitchen that we're putting in place, and we really need to make sure we're tightening all of that up. Step 6, lettings and management. You want tenants in fast. All right, this is really important because this is a liability up until this point, and you need to get it rented. This means working with a letting agent that is actively building their list. They actually understand investors, and we honestly ended up building our own agency in-house. And I'm going to be open with you. I actually brought it in-house because other letting agents were just dropping the ball left, right, and centre, and the service levels dropped when it went externally. And the reason I'm saying I'm going to be honest with you is I thought what we'd do is bring it in-house and we'd be loads better. No, we were just as crap as everyone else. I'm telling you, there's a lot more to letting than I actually originally thought. And it probably took us 2 years at least to get to a point where I was like, we are worse than other agents. We are equal to other agents. And only after 2 years, we're like, actually, we're getting really good at this now. And we're still improving on a day-to-day basis. But that's what it takes to be world-class at your craft. So that's the full process. You understand where is there, where are you going, what timeline, the strategy. Then we've gone from sourcing all the way to lettings. And the reality is quite a lot of work. The average property end-to-end takes roughly 150 hours. So the equivalent of 4 weeks full-time job spread over a 3 to 6 months basis. So if you're thinking, well, how do I do this whilst working full-time or raising kids? That's actually why we created the service in the first place. Now, yes, I'm pitching you here, by the way, but genuinely, if you're watching this and you're going, do you know what, I've got 50 grand plus, I've got the money to invest and start building my portfolio, but I genuinely don't have the time, the inclination, I'm watching this video because I don't know what I'm doing, we can do it for you. All right, so with you or for you, whatever you need to do it, we're going to get it done. And what we do is we help you not only get your first one, but repeat it and scale it. So look, one property is not going to change your life, but it really will build up that net worth over time. But the second, the third, that's when you can really start feeling it. So confidence builds with momentum. Here's how. First, buy a strong deal that generates cash flow. Now, look, the cash flow from a buy-to-let isn't going to change your life, but the market grows, you start building equity. Then we refinance that property and you pull money out. That becomes a deposit for your next property and you repeat and you keep on going. Now, is this an overnight success? No, you do this over 5 to 10 years, but if you started today, you could be a net worth millionaire within the next 10 to 15 years without you doing anything apart from just focusing on building up your cash as we go forward. So this is what we do at Aspire. We don't just help clients buy one deal, we're building out the 5, 10, 15-year plan. And actually today, our big claim is we've managed to triple people's investments within a 10-year time frame. For example, if you've got 100K cash to invest, I'm really proud of this, we can turn that into 300,000 net worth after all debt, fees, everything like that, net worth within a 10-year period. From that same 100K, by the way, and you add to it as you're going on. So confidence is knowing the next move before you make it. You don't need 50 properties, you just need the right ones bought strategically and with the right team behind you. It really is possible. So my hope by now is that you've watched this, and worst case for me is I've just given you some value. And you know, if that is you and you want more value from this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It really does mean a lot to us. And maybe some of you, you're watching this and you're going, do you know what? Actually, I think this is worth a chat. And worst case, I'd love to have a one-to-one chat with you just to give you a bit of guidance on the way. Selfish reason is, hopefully I've added so much value here and on the call that you end up going, can you just do it for me, Jamie? And we've done over £100 million worth of property in the UK over the last 10 years. That's over 1,000 deals. We're the highest rated on Trustpilot out of every single competitor in the industry. And we've actually won industry-leading awards doing this. And if you're ready to invest in property and you just don't want to screw it up, put portfolio in the comments. I will send you a link and you can book in a no obligation one-to-one call. All right. Option 2 is I'll put a link in and you can just click on there and book it in directly. And there's an additional video breaking down exactly what we do and how it benefits you. So give that a watch on the link, book in your free one-to-one call, and worst case, you get a bespoke piece of advice that you can go away and implement. And best case, we start working together. They're your options really, is start taking action. And worst case, this is a step forward, or you can go back to Googling and not taking action. Really, the choice is yours, but I want you to make a decision today that the future self will thank you for. I hope this has been valuable. If you are ready for that phone call and taking action, click the link or put portfolio in the comments. And if you want to just come back for some more value on this, hit the subscribe and notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.